Hello, this is my Module 12. So this is my data flowchart for advisory groups. Advisory groups are something that we do in my school based off of our Ames web tests, and we break them up into the different tiers. So what this does is this gives us a general idea of how many students are in our group or in our class, and then after our first test, we look at the results to see how many students are in the green, in the yellow, and the red, so that we know how we're breaking up these groups. And then from there, we would follow this protocol here for the different groups for instruction. So the Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 would all go through this process. We would do the instruction for that advisory time. We would check for understanding. We would assess the students' knowledge and see how much they retained and how we feel they're doing. We would review that information, and then as the result, we would continue on until our second Ames web test, and then we would see how many. So we'd see how many of our green stayed green, maybe went to yellow, went to red, how many of our yellow went up to green, stayed at yellow, or went down to red, and then how many of our red may have gone up to green, gone up to yellow, or stayed at red. This is really important so we can see what we're doing, if it's working or not, and with using the data that we get from our Ames web testing is really important because this can be used for math and reading, which are both Ames web tests for. So we can do this. This isn't just for reading or just for math. This is for both reading and math, which will help the student in all areas. Then from here, we would review in our protocol. We would review how everybody is doing. If we have more students stay the same or go down, we'd want to find out what we can do to better assist our students. But if we have more students that go from red to yellow or yellow to green or stay at green, we know what we're doing is definitely helping out. We can still always talk about what we can better do to assist our students. I have a checklist here for teachers because this helps the teachers understand that they are being heard. Okay, so we want some discussion points are what worked, what didn't work, do any students need to change groups? So if they started off in the yellow group and now they're green, do we feel comfortable moving them up to the green group because they are doing a lot better? Do we need to move any of the yellow or green down, or any of the green down to the yellow, or yellow down to the red? Are they regressing? So and then how can we better assist our students? What are the best areas we can look at for our students specifically? With this, I will be discussing this with the teachers. They'll know their information is heard, their suggestions are heard, and we are working together as a team for our students. So this is my, again, my protocol for my flowchart for my advisory group, and then this is the data, the advisory data assessment. So instruct material, check for understanding to make sure the students are understanding the material, reteach anything as necessary. If there's any areas that we need to reteach, our Tier 3s are typically smaller groups, so that's not an issue. We can reteach the whole group. Even if some of them get it, we can still reteach it so they understand it better. And then review the data that we get from our Ames web tests and see where we need to go.